All right, we're the Hebrew Israelites. We come in and week out to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great, also known as the USA, the United Snakes of America, soon to be destroyed by nuclear fire. All right, by the the old Medo-Persian Empire. All right. We come out here week in and week out to wake up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, the true Israelites that the Bible speaks of, God's chosen people, who are today, they'd be known as the Negroes, the Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, all right? Because the time is short before this kingdom comes to an end, and the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, is going to usher in the kingdom of heaven, right? And Yahushua is going to run things, and King David is going to sit on the throne. All right, so come out here to wake you up to your true nationality, all right? To get you to repent, right? Acknowledge your offense and pray for forgiveness. Come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, all right? So first and foremost, and as always, all praise is due to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Ruach HaKodesh, all right? Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, including the elders that came before them. And shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word in truth and in sincerity, all right? So, again, here we are, and it's very clear that the devil, who's being exposed right now on an hourly, not even a daily basis, but an hourly basis, all right? He knoweth that he hath but a short time, okay? So, he's in high gear, lying, right? Trying to recreate his narrative because his 1947 lie, and it's kind of suspicious, and not suspicious. We know who the devil is, but it's funny. I'll say it's funny that 1947 is when they say the so-called Roswell incident happened, which was a lie to cover up the chariots, right? The chariots of Israel, and try to control the narrative on what they were. So you went anywhere from, you say that a flying saucer crashed, which could have very well happened. The Most High's chariots, the chariots of Israel, don't crash, and there's not little green men in there, all right? So what happened? All right. Adolf Hitler was working on his chariots, right? Flying saucers, if you will. All right. And you could go back and check Hanebu 1, 2, and 3. Die Glocke. All right. Look those things up, and you'll see that these Germans, right, Teeman, were trying to perfect their own flying saucers way back before World War II. Okay? And those same scientists, after the war, after World War II, they brought those scientists back here. Okay? When was the war over? In 45-ish? All right? And then 47, suddenly, a so-called flying saucer crashes in Roswell. All right? Well, what could that be? That could be whatever they were working on in Nazi Germany, and they brought it back over here to Los Alamos, all right, to Area 51, which is right down there in Nevada, New Mexico area, all right, Groom Lake and all of that, where they say that all of this flight testing and secret aircraft and all of that, it's real easy to put the pieces of the puzzle together. all right? It's real simple, all right? And the little green men or the little aliens or whatever, they were working on that in Nazi Germany too. They were doing experiments on the so-called people over there, the so-called Jews. They were working on little children. What were they doing? Well, they were manufacturing this lie. All right, so that they could come out and try to fool the people and control the narrative. Then they say it's a weather balloon. This is in 47. Okay? So in 47, what happened in 48? Well, the Balfour Declaration. Now we're going to, not only are we going to try to control the narrative on what the chariots actually are, which we know that those are the angels. That's Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, which are the true names of the Most High and His Son. All right? What you're doing is you're trying to confuse the people and scare them into believing that somehow the Most High, right, is a threat to humanity, right? Well, He is a threat to humanity, or He's a threat to you mutants. How about that? He's a threat to you heathen. Why? Because He's going to send His Son back to avenge His people, the true children of Israel, right, who need to be saved because they're being held in captivity right now. And you devils, you know that, all right? So what are you doing? You're trying to hide who the true children of Israel are. You conspired to change our identity. And when you stole our identity, this all happened, right? You signed off on it in the late 40s. 47 Roswell, 48 Balfour. Okay? What were you doing? You were preparing for what is going on now because you knew that we were going to wake up. And your boy Adolf Schicklgruber, he found out. He found out what was going on. He said, oh, you niggers are actually God's children. You're the jewels of God. God's precious jewelry. The Negroes. Okay? So you had to demonize him. That happened in 43, 42 or whatever. Right? Because he was supposed to head the New World Order. Gave him a bunch of money, guns and uniforms. That whole thing was supposed to go down over there. And so he sent out these expeditions. I want the Spear of Destiny. I want the Ark of the Covenant. I want to find Noah's Ark. So he sent out these expeditions because he had the money to do so. And guess what they came back and reported? Those niggers are the real Jews. And he was like, oh shit. What a foolish thing to do. All right? And this is in his own words, right? And of course you're going to demonize me and try to say that somehow I'm anti-Shemitic when the Palestinians are Shemitic or Semitic. You try to hide everything with semantics, all right? The very people that you guys are over there fighting in our land, fighting over our land, it don't belong to near one of you, okay? The ancient name for the Palestinians is the Philistines, and they're the sons of Ham, not of Ishmael. Okay? And the children of Israel are not at home. We're still in captivity to this day. And Yahweh Shai is the only one that can reinstall us in there. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, he hasn't done that yet. So whoever is over there is clearly an imposter, all right? Because if the Most High installed his people back in their land, there should be no more war. Well, what's going on over there? They're fighting over our land, letting you know clearly, okay? So your disinformation campaign has come to an end, right? Because The true children of Israel are waking up. They're standing upon their feet after 3 days and a half, right? And great fear has fallen on you devils. Okay? And so now the weather balloon lie and cover up. Oh, it was a weather balloon, right? You can't explain that shit away no more. The sightings are so numerous, right? Now you got to implement another lie, which you have slated to come out in June. Okay? Well, guess what? Like Bishop Nathaniel said, it's June. So he's working with the devil, talking about ain't no microchip. Hey, the microchips are coming out in June. Okay? And I'm paraphrasing, all right? But all of this stuff, all right, nothing can be hidden anymore. You're going to try. You're trying to roll out this MOB under the guise of a medical emergency. We know what that is. All right? Why is there an NFC card reader on our phones that you hadn't said nothing about? Last night I explained to some lady, what's on your phone? What is that all about? She had no clue that it was on her phone. I talked to her and her husband for an hour, and then the subject of the chip came up. I'm like, well, what is this on your phone? Show her a little video of the card to tag reader, right? And what it's used for. So guess what, devil? You're exposed. You're clearly exposed. All right? And this pretty much explains everything that I'm going to summarize what I just spoke about. All right? The chariots and who the true Jews are. All right? This is Revelation 11. And 11. And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet. Who's that talking about? It's not talking about the 1948ers. Okay? They've been believing that they're the Jews going back generations now. Okay? My dad was a Jew, my mom was a Jew, I'm a Jew. All right, well, the true children of Israel, the true Jews, ain't going to know who they are. They're going to be dead bodies lying in the street of Babylon the Great. All right, let's get that real quick. This is Revelation 11 and 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. So they ain't going to know who they are. Now we jump to 11 and 11. And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life. First they were dead. Why were they dead? Because they didn't know who they actually were. On my birth certificate it says Negro. I was told I was colored, black, Afro-American, African-American. All right? Which one is it? It's none of those. It's all lies. And now the jig is up. Okay? The nig is up. All right? And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet. What does that mean? We stood upon our feet. Well, we know who we are now. Now we're going to stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted us. All right? And great fear fell upon them which saw them. Now the jig is up. And everybody's afraid. Why? Because they know in their spirit that we are the children of Israel. How do they know? They know in their heart of hearts, which is your mind, okay, something peculiar about these people. All right? And now suddenly out of nowhere, all right, the greatest scholars on the face of the earth are the guys in the ghettos. Can break down this Bible and prove everybody wrong. and you're fighting with all you got, like the devil, whose time has run out. You're fighting, doing everything you can to disprove us, and you can't do it, letting you know that it is of the Most High. All right? So basically, your time is up. There's nothing you can do. You're going to bite, fight, and scratch and claw, and yet durst fight. Okay? You're scared as hell because you know what you got coming. You know that payback is coming. Right? And you're scared of that, but you're going to fight anyway. Why? Because you're a robot for the Most High. You're going to do exactly what He tells you to do. All right? So do what you got to do. Right? Because your end is nigh. Salakia, excuse me. All right, Salakia. All right, so let's get some more. Let's finish it up. Okay. Revelation 11. So we just proved who just stood on their feet because they found out who they were. You can't be dead to who you are and then wake up, right? Unless you thought you were different, you thought that you were an African. Well, these people, right, believe their entire life. If you're 70 years old, you were led to believe your entire life that you were Jewish. Okay? So you're waking up to the fact that you've been lied to. You're waking up to the fact that you're not a Jew. Okay? And you hate that. You've been claiming so long to be people who you're not, with the largest case of stolen identity ever on the face of the earth. What does that go to? Because you're the most subtle of all the beasts of the field. You're a liar from the time you come forth out of the womb, right? You're the father of lies. You're a murderer. You're a liar. Salaki, what is going on over there in the land of Israel right now? Murder, lies. You're just being the devil that you are. You're doing exactly what you were created to do. You're being a perfect devil. All right? Now here's 12. This is what the chariots are. All right? And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, unto who? The children of Israel. Come up hither, and they ascended up to heaven in a cloud. All right? What is that? Well, that's the chariots of Israel. That's what these things are. These clouds. And their enemies beheld. Well, who's our enemy? All of that can be proven out of the scriptures. First, let's get the chariots. This is Psalm. What is this cloud? We ascended up to heaven in a cloud. What does that mean? Well, only the men of the Lord could use this Bible to expose you devils and your lies. The truth shall make you free. and this truth is going out to the four corners of the earth, then shall the end come. And this glorious knowledge surpasses all wealth upon the face of the earth, in the universe, for that matter. There's a book of Psalm 104. I'll just get straight to it. Psalm 104 and 3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the water, who maketh the clouds his chariot. So when we go back, so the clouds are the chariots of Israel. So when you go back to Revelation, and you read it again, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither, and they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. Well, how do you ascend up to heaven in a cloud? Well, let's give you a prime example. The one that the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ ascended up to heaven in a cloud. Let's read the account. This is Acts, the book of Acts, chapter 1, verse 9. And when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. Let's talk about what happened to Jesus, whose name is Yahushua. Okay? A cloud, what is the language used in Revelation? And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud. Let's read Acts. He was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. It sounds like he ascended up into a cloud. So a tractor beam came down, lifted him up into the vehicle. All right? And you don't have to believe it, but that's what we're reading. The same thing happened to Elijah. All right? Well, let's get it. What's going on here? See, what we're doing is we're explaining exactly what these craft are. And you devils hate the truth. Right? You hate it. This is 2 Kings 2 and 12. Start at 11. And it came to pass as they still went on and talked that, behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. And Elisha saw it, and he cried, my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof. All right, so right there, Elisha got beamed up like Yahushua, who you ignorantly called Jesus, got beamed up into the cloud or the chariot, just like before those missiles destroy Babylon the Great. Okay, we're going to get beamed up. The hopeful elect, right? And what do you mean before those missiles hit? I'll read 12 again. This is Revelation 11 and 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud. And their enemies, we'll get to that, their enemies beheld them. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted, and gave glory to the power of heaven. All right? Well, what is that great earthquake? That's the missiles destroying Babylon the Great. Okay? The 10th part of the city fell, meaning North America is completely destroyed. How do I know completely? Because it says, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000. That means completion. So if you didn't get beamed up into those chariots, you're dead. All right? That's what it means to be saved. What? I'm not saved? I'm not saying nobody's saved, idiot. Saved from what? You don't even know what it means to be saved, but you're running around claiming to be saved. And that's that hell of a drug named Christianity got you thinking that you're saved from something that hasn't even happened to you. Ain't no destruction came to America yet. You're saved from what? Saved means to be saved from the destruction. I'm reading right now. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud right before the 10th part of the city fell in the great earthquake, where everybody else dies. So if you get beamed up into the chariots at the moment where those missiles hit, what missiles? Well, let's get enemies first. Well, we'll get missiles first. Let's get missiles first. And these missiles are a plague. Okay? A plague upon who? Our enemies. We could get our enemies. We'll let the Spirit flow. This is the book of Zechariah. (14 and 12). Zechariah 14 and 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. All right, that's talking about a nuclear blast. All right, it's talking about nuclear missiles, ICBMs. All right. Let's see if I can find this. Salakia. Let me see. Gotta look it up. Salakia. This is Isaiah 54. Isaiah 54 and 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. Well, what is that talking about? It's talking about a blacksmith. What does a blacksmith do? A blacksmith makes weapons. Battle axes, swords, knives. Okay? The Most High said he created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. This right here is talking about the missiles, the ICBMs with a nuclear warhead. Then we go to Zechariah, which describes the effect of that blast. Your skin gets melted off your bones, or you completely fucking vaporize. All right? So how did the 10th part of the city fall? Mutually assured destruction. Okay? In the same hour, this is Revelation 11 and 13. In the same hour was there a great earthquake. When all of those missiles hit at the same time, 200 million missiles, the earth is going to rock to and fro like a great earthquake. In the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the power of heaven. So this is describing what Christians know as the lake of fire. When all of those missiles hit, is going to create nuclear fire, burning so hot, it's going to vaporize everybody that is on the North American continent, unless you're saved from that, meaning the chariots are going to beam you up. So how is it that we're able to put this together? All right? How is it that we're able to put these scriptures together? All right? Because you don't read the Bible like a novel, first of all. There are instructions on how to read it for understanding, for knowledge and understanding. Well, let's bring it out. This is Isaiah 28. We'll start at 9. Listen for the key words. Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little and there a little. That's how you get, all right? That's how you get knowledge, and that's how you get understanding, by putting the pieces of the puzzle together, all right? Let's go back to Revelation, because we got to understand who our enemies are. All right? It says, Revelation 11 and 11, and after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from the Most High entered into them. Who is them? Talking about the Israelites. And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. Okay? So now, let's track down who our enemies are. Okay? Line upon line, precept upon precept. Here a little and there a little. Right now, we got to go to Deuteronomy to find out what the book of Deuteronomy is about. All right, and who was written concerning. Okay, so you go to the first chapter, the first verse of Deuteronomy to find out what it's about. All right, this is Deuteronomy 1 and 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel. So the whole book of Deuteronomy is about Moses talking to the children of Israel out in the desert after he comes back down from the mountain. And he's got the commandments, all right? These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan in the wilderness, in the plain over against the Red Sea, between Paran and Tophel and Laban and Hezroth and Dizahab. All right, so after he parted the Red Sea, all right, which was a chariot involved in there, they walked across the Red Sea. They're in the Sinai Desert. Okay? He goes up the mountain, comes back down. Then he's talking to the children of Israel. All right? And the book of Deuteronomy are the words. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel. It doesn't say all nations. It says to all Israel. So when they get to the laws, right? He's still dealing with just Israel. The laws, all right? Moses was an Israelite. The Most High gave him the laws to give to his people and nobody else. Oh, there are other people in the desert. You don't understand other people. All right, so on our way to proving who our enemies are, let's make a quick pit stop and find out how God feels about these people, the Israelites. This is Deuteronomy 7 and 6. All right. For thou art an holy people. Who is thou? The Most High is talking through Moses to the children of Israel. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So that cuts all men are created equal. According to the one you call God, whose name is Yahweh, he created Israel to be above and better than everybody else on the face of the earth. So saith the word, okay? So you can go fuck yourself on that other shit, all right? And excuse my language, or not. You can go watch another video, all right? The truth is the truth. All right, now let's get to the enemies, all right? And how do we get there? Well, we got to qualify what's going on. Because Moses came down off the mountain and he had a deal. The Most High said, look, make a deal with them and let's see what the deal is. Or a covenant, if you will. A bargain. All right, so this is Deuteronomy chapter 28. We'll start at 1 so we can get some context, okay? It's going to explain the covenant or the deal that the Most High wanted to make with the nation of Israel, okay? If you do the things that I'm asking you to do, here's the result of that. If you don't do the things that I ask you to do, here's the result of that. That was the deal that the Most High, whose name is Yahweh, made with the children of Israel. Not everybody, not all nations. Oh, well, that was the old covenant. Well, the new covenant is with the same people. And we can get to that too. All right? Because you like to jump ahead and try to prove some shit that's not even true. All right? So we'll slow walk you. Deuteronomy 28 and 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Now we use the word power, the Lord thy power, but for edification, we're going to read it verbatim. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations. He said, if you do these, keep these commandments, I'm going to hook it up. You ain't going to have nothing to worry about. I'm going to set you on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Blessed shall thou be in the city. Blessed shall thou be blessed shall be the fruit of it. Blessed, and blessed, and blessed, and blessed. Then we get to 13. Deuteronomy 28 and 13. Okay? Salakia 15. Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto them. Now, if you don't keep these commandments, which is the other part of the deal, the first part is, if you keep these commandments, I'm going to bless you. Then it says, but, meaning the other part, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed, here come the curses. All right? Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. All right? And curses keep going all the way to 68. From 16 to 68, all of those curses. Let's read a couple of them. This is the curse found in Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, talking about slavery, which the Lord shall send thee, Salah, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he, who is he? Your enemy. Let's read it again, because this is dealing with our enemies. And through the process of elimination, we're going to find out who these enemies are. And we have many enemies, but this is going to get very specific about who our main enemy is. This is one of the curses that fell upon the children of Israel for not keeping the commandments of God. Right? Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, talking about slavery. Okay? Talking about slavery, you're going to serve who? Your enemies. Now listen. And thou shalt serve thine enemies. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. He sent them against us, not to care for us and coddle us, but to whip you and beat you down and put you to death. In hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron around your neck.
Hello?
What's that?
Afternoon.
All right. So, what'd you say, mahalo?
No. Hello.
Oh, hello. All right. Hello. All right, so who put a yoke of iron around our neck? Who put you in chains and shackles and enslaved you? Well, according to this, our enemies did that. The Most High sanctioned our enemies to do it. All right? Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. The Most High sent our enemies against thee, so that we can be slaves to them in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. That's one of the curses. All right? Now let's get the main one, dealing with our enemies again. All right? Listen for the word enemies. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. All right, so the word Egypt means bondage or slavery, because we were the slaves in ancient Egypt too, and Moses walked us out of that situation into the desert where he was given this speech to the children of Israel. All right? And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. How did we get here to Northern America? The land of slavery. Yes, this is the land of slavery too. All right? And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. He said, you Israelites are not going to see your homeland Israel again until I install you back in there. So whoever's over there right now, here's the criteria that you got to fit. You had to have gone into slavery by cargo slave ship, and somebody put a yoke of iron around your neck and slapped some shackles on you. All right? I don't think that happened to the people that are over there. I know it didn't happen to them. How do I know? Because they were involved in this. They were the ones putting the shackles on us. Those are our enemies that did that to us. Now they're over there claiming to be us, in our land, pulling the same genocidal tactics that they pulled right here, right, to the northern kingdom, to the Gadites, who are the North American Indians, and so on and so forth. What happened to the North American Indians? Well, their enemies came over here, enslaved them, put them on a ship, and took them back to Spain. A little research will show you exactly what happened. All right? So it says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. You're not going to see Israel again. And there, where is there? In North America, when you get off of them slave ships, down there in Louisiana, okay, over here in Jamaica, right, at the rich port of Puerto Rico, Cuba, all right, South America, and there ye shall be sold to your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. Bondmen and bondwomen is talking about slaves. So who were you sold to over here in North America? The answer is your enemies. So by the process of elimination, when you Negroes, right, and the Africans in Africa, they are not Negroes, they'll call you a Negro because they know that you're not them. All right? Them Africans are Hamitic. They come out of Noah's son, Ham, and they know that we're Shemitic. We come out of Noah's son, Shem. They couldn't wait to round, because they're our enemies too. Yeah, they look like us. Not all black people are the same. Not all Asian people are the same. You got Chinese, you got Japanese, okay? They're different people, so they can be different, but all you niggas gotta be the same. You all come from Africa, you're all one people. No. You see how the devil works? You can't believe a word that comes out of his... You have to consider that the devil speaks nothing but lies, so when he tells you who you are, you're an African. Well, let's do some research and find out if what you're saying is true, because every word out of your mouth is a damn lie. And if I look close enough, I'm sure that I'll find that somehow you done stole my identity. What are you calling it? Here's how you deal with the devil. Well, what? Oh, you're in Africa. I am? Well, what are you calling yourself? Because the truth is probably that you're calling yourself me. You want to be me so bad. That's how you deal with the devil. Every word out of his mouth is a lie. Okay? And can be proven so. So now we understand who our enemy is. Okay? What language am I speaking? I'm speaking English. The Northern Kingdom is speaking Spanish, Portuguese. Where are these places? That's over in Europe. They stole that land from us too during the Dark Ages. And now we're speaking their language. Well, our language or whatever, but we're being forced to speak English. The Gadites, or the North American Indians, and the so-called Mexicans, they speak Spanish. Well, where is Spain? Spain is over there in Europe. When them people got on them boats and came over here and started slaughtering people and forcing them to speak their language and loading them up on them ships, taking them back to Spain. Who could that be? Who got loaded on the cargo slave ships and taken into slavery? That would be the children of Israel. Not no Indians. Well, you're an Indian. Well, India is way over there. How am I an Indian? An Indian means indigenous. But guess what? Guess what land the Most High gave to us? He gave us the land of Israel, or the land of Canaan, and we were supposed to kick them Canaanites out of there, right? But we made a mistake over there too. We're still paying for our mistakes, and everybody's going to pay for their mistakes. But the point is that they ain't no damn Indians from India, Elamites. All right, that's a little more confusion because we can't tell you who you really are. Even though when the Spaniards got over here, the indigenous were wearing these fringes and this border of blue, letting you know who they are. All right? So our enemies came over here and enslaved us, put us on cargo slave ships, shipped us around so that we could be their slaves. That's just what it says in here. It's identifying who people are according to what actually went on. And there's a great record of the transatlantic slave trade. All right? And the Africans are perpetrators of the transatlantic slave trade. The Africans had their hand in it, who are the Hamites. The Arabs, who are Ishmael. And the Edomites, who stole this land, North America, from the Native Americans. Those are the three culprits in the transatlantic slave trade. Our enemies. And they have to pay for what they did to us. That abomination. Yes, the Most High sanctioned it. All right? But guess what? There are rules to slavery. All right? When you take a man captive or whatever, in a war or whatever, hey, he's got certain rights that you just can't, abuse him and buck breaking him. All right? You're not supposed to be, screwing a man in his butt. When you do that, you're supposed to be put to death. And you will be in the kingdom of heaven. You will be. Because we'll be back on these laws. Not the laws of this lawless devil out here. All right? So, all right, Salakia. Anyway, let's get back to it. All right, so we've qualified who our enemy is. All right? Now, the one that you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, what is he coming back to do? All right? What is he coming back to do? Because if you've lied about everything else, about what Jesus looks like, if you lied about that, if this picture of Cesare Borgia is a lie, who is Cesare Borgia?
I don't know the name.
You never heard of the Borgias?
No. Would you like a donut?
No, but I want to show you. I want to show you something. Can I show you
Sure.
something? Okay, you believe in, you got that Bible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me show you something. Okay. I'm going to type in this name. Okay, go to Google, right?
Right.
All right, I'm going to type in this name. Cesare, Caesar, this guy.
Okay.
Caesar Borgia, okay? Now I'm going to go to images. See, there's Caesar, right?
Mhm.
I'm going to go to images. Do you know where this is going?
I have a feeling. Go ahead.
Well, hey, the truth is the truth all day.
Just roll it. Just roll it.
All right, images of Caesar Borgia. All of these, every picture you're going to see is an image of Caesar Borgia. Who is this? Who's that?
Looks like Jesus.
It looks like him.
Looks like it's supposed to be Jesus.
It's supposed to be, but this is Caesar Borgia,
Yeah.
okay? And this image was painted by Michelangelo 1,400 years, in the 1400s.
Right.
1,400 years after Jesus.
Right.
So this is a lie.
Of course it is.
Okay, so, all right, you're a Christian, right?
Yes.
Okay,
I know Jesus
But-
wasn't a white man.
but wait, is this a lie?
Yeah.
I'm showing you definitively who he is, who this guy is. It's not Jesus.
It's a
It's a
self-portrait.
lie.
Yeah.
So, but you did identify him as Jesus.
Correct.
Okay. And if I went to China right now, I'd say, who is it? They say, that's Jesus.
The Caucasoid, Anglo-Saxon.
Hold on now.
I know
I'm
where you're
going
going.
somewhere. So if this is a lie, is not the doctrine that goes along with it a lie?
No,
Why?
because that's one man's pro-
Wait.
image of what he thought
But they
Jesus
took
looked
this
like.
image around the whole world. If I went to Japan
Well,
right
the,
now,
The reason why, there's a reason behind that. For acceptance.
Okay.
Because
No,
the far,
wait.
hold on.
I'm gonna let you talk.
The farther north Christianity spread, the wider Jesus got to be accepted.
So this lie was spread throughout the whole world.
Not the-
That's what you're saying right now.
Not the whole world. Well, it's been accepted, yes.
The lie has been accepted. So if this picture is a blatant lie, which it is, I'm proving it right now.
Right.
Maybe the doctrine that goes along with that is a lie too.
No.
No?
No.
No? Okay,
No.
let me ask you this. Does God hate anybody? Does God hate?
God hates sin. He doesn't hate
What is
people.
sin?
Sin, all kinds of sin.
No,
Sin's a lie.
no, what is sin? Got that Bible? Is that the King James?
Yes.
All right, we'll watch. I'm gonna show you something. First John. I'm gonna show you something. First, because this is not me talking. First John. Three and 4. Read this.
Whosoever committeth sin transgresses also the law, for sin is the transgression
Sin
of
is
the law.
what?
Transgression
That
of the
means
law.
when you break God's laws, that's sin. Sin ain't anything that you want it to be. It's exactly what it says
Right.
in the Bible, right?
Right.
Okay, so if that picture is a lie, okay, what did he look like according to the scripture?
Jesus is not described in Scripture.
Well, let's find out if
Show
that's
me-
true.
show me
Let's
where
find
he's
out. I'm gonna
described.
show you in two
Okay.
different places.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'm gonna show you who God hates according to the scripture.
Point blank. What
Point
Jesus
blank.
looks like.
Point blank. Okay, what does the word revelation mean?
It's revealing.
To reveal.
Right.
Okay. The revelation of Jesus. Oh,
Okay.
We're about to find out what he
Okay.
looks like. Okay. All right. The revelation of Jesus Christ. So he's talking to John on the Isle of Patmos, right?
Okay.
All right. And John was seeing a vision, and I turned to see the voice that spake with me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man. Who is that?
Jesus.
Okay.
Right.
Clothed with a garment down to his foot. He was
Okay.
dressed kind of like this.
Okay. His robe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And John was like bowing. He could see
Okay.
what was going on. Okay. Clothed with a garment down to the foot and girded about the paps with a gold. He had a golden girdle up.
Okay.
Now it describes him. His head and his hairs were white like wool. That's describing the texture.
Okay.
The next line describes the color.
This is the Spirit.
Hold on.
Hold on. Let's keep apples with apples.
Okay, all right.
We're discussing the Spirit of
Okay,
Jesus
all right,
versus the
okay.
physical man.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna
Keep
let you
apples with
slide.
apples.
I'm gonna let you slide with that.
Okay.
as white as snow. So his hair was fully gray like mine,
Okay.
and it was woolly. I'd let you touch my hair and see what wool feels like.
I know what wool
Okay,
feels like.
so he had woolly hair.
Okay.
Basically, he had an afro.
Okay.
Okay, let's read on. And his eyes were as a flame of fire. His eyes were red because he drank wine. And this is what happened.
Or he was filled with the light of the
I will,
Spirit.
I will show you.
That's an assumption.
It's not an assumption.
You're making an assumption.
No, I'm
because his eyes
gonna
were red
prove.
like
I'm gonna
with
prove.
wine.
I'm gonna prove what
Okay.
I'm saying. Okay, let's prove it.
Okay.
Okay, you don't understand yet that I'm about to prove.
Give me a
everything.
minute.
I'm gonna prove everything I'm saying with the Bible.
Okay.
You haven't figured that out
We're
yet.
talking about the description of Jesus. Let's
Right.
Keep apples
Okay.
with apples.
I'm gonna do that, but I'm
Okay.
gonna show you why his eyes were red.
Okay. See, you're going back and forth.
You're supposed to. I'm gonna show you that too.
You're not keeping apples with apples.
No, I'm proving what I said about his eyes.
Okay.
Genesis 49.
Okay.
What was Jesus' nationality?
He was Hebrew.
Well, there are many Hebrews, okay? But what was his? Hebrew wasn't the nation,
Well, Hebrew was a people.
right?
Right.
It was, well, which many people
Jewish.
Okay, Jewish. Okay,
Jewish.
the Jews, or the tribe of Judah, is
Right.
one of the 12 tribes of the nation of.
Israel.
Correct. So he was an
Okay.
Israelite from the tribe of Judah. Are we
Okay.
straight? Okay. Now, let's go right here. We're going to show you why his eyes were red. Judah is a lion's whelp. So right here we're discussing Judah, and it says, the scepter shall not depart from Judah. We're getting into the one you call Jesus. Nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come. Here's a description. His eyes shall be red
With wine.
because he drank. Didn't he not
They're
turn
talking-
water into wine?
He did, but
They
they're
was
talking-
drinking.
Hold on. Now you're not.
I just
we're,
showed you.
We're still not talking physical Jesus versus spiritual
Okay.
images.
I'm gonna get this
Okay.
physical. Okay, let's finish this. Okay, so his eyes were red with
Okay.
wine. Okay, I'm showing you.
Okay.
It's not me. It's the scripture. It's,
Okay.
it's the spirit of the Lord is coming. And his feet like unto fine brass. What color is brass?
Goldish.
Okay, like kind of like that.
No.
Okay.
That's more copper.
Okay, gold, right?
Yeah.
Okay, gold.
Yeah.
And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. Now what color? What color is gold when you burn it in a furnace?
Gold doesn't change color.
Oh, yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
If
$100
you burn,
bill right now.
if
says
you
gold
burn
does not change
anything,
color.
if you burn anything,
No.
If you burn anything,
Gold is the only substance that does not change color when it's heated. It will turn red and then turn black back to gold.
he was a dark brown. What color is my skin?
If you ever went
What color is my skin?
to brown.
Okay. So was Jesus. He had
Of
woolly
course he
hair
was.
and dark brown
There's
skin.
no argument there.
He was a Negro.
Okay.
Okay. And he was what you call a Jew.
Okay.
He was an Israelite from the tribe of Judah.
Right.
So he was a dark-skinned man
So
with
were-
woolly. Okay,
so
now.
were many people
okay.
from.
So that was spiritual, right?
Hold on,
that was
hold on.
spiritual.
I'm having an extra moment trying to think.
What's your nationality, sir?
Oh, gee whiz.
Come on.
I'm a Heinz 57.
Your dad was what?
I don't know. I'm adopted, but according to the
That's a
DNA
good thing.
stuff,
That's a good thing.
it was
DNA doesn't really work.
man,
Tim, let's go to Daniel.
Scandinavian, Irish,
Irish is good.
Spanish, and there's some brother 4 generations back.
Some brother?
Yeah.
Is that what you just said?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I like that. All right. Let's get another. Okay. This is in the book of Daniel. This
Right.
ain't spiritual. This is physical. Okay. Before the transfiguration or whatever. All right. It's Daniel 10:5 and 6. Then I lifted up my eyes and looked, behold, a certain man clothed in linen. This is basically the same description. Whose loins were girded with fine gold. He had on a golden belt.
Right.
His body also was like the beryl. He had on a green garment, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire. They were red. Okay, same thing. And his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass.
Right. That's
What-
still not black.
Let's find out. Let's go to
Okay.
Google. Come on now. You think I haven't done this before?
No, I'm not
Come
arguing
on.
with you though.
Right.
I'm agreeing with everything you're saying.
We're gonna type in polished brass.
Except the gold part. Gold
Hold
doesn't
on.
change. It's
Polished. Come on, we're gonna see.
part of metallurgy. Gold
Polished.
doesn't change color. That's
We're gonna
one of the
find
reasons
out.
why it was so valuable.
Polished brass. In some languages it says bronze. And we
Bronze
know
and brass is two different things.
in some
Bronze and brass are two different metals that
polished
make one
brass,
thing.
right?
Right.
Images.
Looks like gold to me.
Hold on. Images.
Looks like gold to me.
What?
Looks like gold.
Hold on. That looks like gold. Can you see that?
Can't, not really.
Come on now.
It's blurry. What are we looking at? We looking
That's-
at the dark
that's-
spot or the center where it looks like gold?
These are
How many pictures are you gonna flip through till you find one
these
that
are
fits your
all
needs?
these are all images of
You know,
polished brass.
I can ask 1,000